it's Alice, and today I'm going to be sharing some 5-star reviews of books that I rated 1 star. So I did the opposite version of this video a week or so ago when I read 1-star reviews of books I rated 5 stars, and I said in that video that if you guys wanted me to do the opposite then I could, and I had some comments that said that people were interested in this, so I thought today I would get a little salty and I would read some amazing reviews of books I hated and shred people's opinions apart. So this is all just a bit of fun because obviously I hated these books, but if they're your favourite books that doesn't mean that I hate you, it just means you have terrible taste in books. But yeah, it's just going to be looking up some books that I really didn't like and kind of seeing whether the reviews can change my mind on them. Because if somebody has a really compelling argument as to why it's one of their favourites, then maybe I'll listen. But probably not. Today's video is going to start off with Marleys Ghost by David Levithan. It is probably my least favourite YA book I've ever read. It is my least favourite David Levithan by far. And it's a Christmas Carol retelling that basically copies A Christmas Carol practically verbatim. But it's Valentine's Day and this kid's girlfriend's just died. And all of his friends are like, why haven't you just moved on? His girlfriend's been dead for like a month and they're all just like, move on, get over her. It's really weird, and I find it really disrespectful, so it'll be interesting to see why people loved it. So, we'll start off with the top 5-star review. This is by far my favourite David Levithan book yet. A mix of A Christmas Carol and Valentine's makes it so perfect. Was very touching as well as heartfelt. This story is definitely one that will make you think. It is a quick and easy read, perfect for all David Levithan fans. If by quick and easy you mean the fact that it's like 120 pages or something stupid, then yeah, fine. If it's your favourite David Levithan book yet, I'm guessing you haven't read many of them. Because, like, Every Day is really great. And some of his collaborative novels are quite good. But some of his are pretty poor. So I'm wondering which are the ones that she'd read when she said that. The next review. Here we go. I've been in a little bit of a book slump over the past few weeks. And I was in a bookshop on holiday and saw this and picked it up. And I'm so glad I did. A modern take on Charles Dickens' classic, A Christmas Carol, it held magic, the importance of kindness, friendship, love and humanity, and was the perfect fix of imagination and storytelling I needed. I loved seeing the elements of Dickens' original spirit of his book reimagined and written beautifully by David Levithan, alongside Levithan's unique, touching and uplifting new life given to this classic story. It was a delight to read, and I loved the wonderful modern replica drawings by one of my favourite author/illustrator, Brian Selznick. The version I read, I'm pretty sure, was not illustrated because I do not remember seeing a single illustration in this. Maybe that's the difference between the US and the UK version. But okay. A short but satisfying read that I'm sure to revisit when I need some company and remind me that we're all made up of our past, present and future, and to enjoy the beauty of life as raw, unpredictable, difficult, but ultimately wonderful as it is. Yeah, it's really wonderful when your girlfriend dies and your friends are like, just get over her. Like, it's good to embrace the beauty of life and not to get like bogged down in death, but if it's only been like a couple weeks since your girlfriend died, you are allowed to do that. You're allowed to be sad for a little while. I also don't think that it's really a reimaginative retelling. It's just like the ghosts of Valentine's past and present and future. There's not really like, they've just changed all the words Christmas to Valentine's. It's not imaginative. This book made me cry and made me laugh. This story dealt with grief and the consequences of loss while remaining an optimistic, magical tale. Levithan did it once again. Great book. This one! Oh my god. This book tugs at your heartstrings. Ben has lost his girlfriend to cancer and his coping skills are in need of some tuning up. Oh my god! The reason you love this book is because you're as heartless as Ben's friends are. Damn! Oh, your coping skills need tuning up, mate. Your girlfriend's been dead for a couple weeks and you aren't over it yet. Oh my god! That's how most people cope with loss. That's how most people cope with grief. Just let him grieve. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Ooh, we are off to a bad start. We are going to leave these reviews because, boy, howdy, this is not a fun place to be on this corner of the internet. We will now go for Attachments by Rainbow Rowell. Okay, this is a good one because I know how much I hated this one. Attachments is a book about a guy who works in IT and he's like reading these two co-workers' emails to each other, and then he falls in love with one of them through her emails to her best friend that she has no idea he's reading, and people think this is like the height of romance, and I don't get it. So let's us see. Oh my god, it has 4 stars the most and then 5 stars the second most. That's a real unpopular opinion, thinking it's a 1 star. I had attempted to read this book a couple of weeks ago, but I wasn't feeling it and gave up after 40 pages. Man, am I happy that I gave it a second chance. This was so damn cute and surprisingly not cheesy, despite the plot sounding like a total cheese fest. It really is. I love how this wasn't just an adorable, slow-building romance, but it also follows Lincoln and his difficulties with growing up and moving on. Definitely read this if you were a fan of Rainbow Rowell's other novels or romantic comedies. I wouldn't say adorable, slow-building romance, considering it's just him reading her emails and then being like, I love you! Instantly. Like, there's not really any slow build there. Oh. Okay. Brilliant. I loved everything about it. Definitely a new favourite. I'm sorry. Oh my god, Jessie the Reader gave it 5 stars. This was such a good book. It's one of those books that just makes you feel ridiculously happy. It didn't make me ridiculously happy. It made me so mad. Oh my god, I really am the unpopular opinion here, aren't I? 20 days and 17 books into 2012, and I finally found something I can honestly say I loved. I knew it was going to be good from the very first chapter, which I probably read to my mother while we both laughed. Giving it 5 stars might be a bit much. It is. But I can't help it. This was funny, engaging, sweet, and more importantly, smart. None of the characters were perfect, but they were written so realistically that their flaws added to their appeal. I hated every single character in this book. Oh my god. It felt like reading about real people, not the cliches of people one normally gets in a piece of modern fiction. No. Rainbow Rowell has a gift for writing beautiful, unconventional love stories. Her characters always feel vibrant, energetic, quirky, and rich in emotion. Attachments follows a shy, socially awkward, and then in brackets, he loves playing Dungeons and Dragons. Like, that's the height of social awkwardness. Is playing Dungeons and Dragons. That means you've got friends that you can meet up with in one of their houses, like, regularly. That's not really that socially awkward. Deeply insecure 28-year-old named Lincoln. Lincoln still lives at home with his mum and works at a job he absolutely despises. His job is to read/filter his co-workers' emails. Without giving away too much of the plot, I will say that Lincoln grows tremendously throughout the course of this novel. I also like that Attachments takes place in the late 90s. I love all the pop culture references and the casual but hilarious banter of Jennifer and Beth's daily emails. Rowell's writing and sense of humour is simple and refreshing but never feels flat or monotone. Her novels always make me smile, which is really saying something because I'm such a jaded person when it comes to matters of the heart. This book is cute. I highly recommend it. Enjoy. Okay, I think if this person thinks that they are jaded, I must be the most jaded person that has ever existed because I did not find this cute at all. Oh no. Oh god. Another one that is going to be a really unpopular opinion is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. So, everybody knows The Fault in Our Stars, right? There's Hazel Grace, and Augustus, and they fall in love, and then it's very sad because they both have cancer, I believe, and sick kids in love. It's a sad story, but I thought it was very pretentious, and I didn't like the way that it was written, and I didn't care for the characters, and I know everybody else loves it, but it will be interesting to see why, especially considering my review is one sentence which says, "This book is the most overrated book I've ever had the displeasure to experience." Oh, I was not holding back. It has so many 5-star reviews. The 5-star reviews are the way longest. Oh my god. I hate this book. Absolutely hate it. Not just from the bottom of my heart, which would literally mean my ventricles, and so, no, but with my whole heart. I hate it. I hate the fact that it made me laugh so hard. I hate the fact that it made me smile so much. I hate the fact that it made me chuckle so profusely. I hate the fact that it gifted me with so much laughter, smiles and chuckles when I was expecting to come face to face with tragedy at any moment. It changed my expectations, made me believe in something which did not happen, or maybe did happen. Oh, then this is a very long review, but I was not gifted with any of those things. I was gifted with groaning and irritation and hair pulling and feeling sad. This is the first time I've truly been at a loss for words. What am I supposed to say? How can I do this book justice? Maybe tell you all that it was perfect. The best, most heartbreaking, hilarious book that has touched me like none other. Sure. I mean, it's been said countless times in countless reviews, and you know what? They are absolutely 150% true. I do quite like that bit. Screw all the Christian gays. Screw all the Christian Greys and the Gideon Crosses. Just give me Augustus Waters. Oh, Augustus is so pretentious though. He's like, I put the cigarette in between my teeth, but I don't light it because then I don't get the killing thing, the power to do the killing. And I'm like, ugh, pretentious. Oh my god. Infinite stars. There are almost 33,000 reviews of this book. Why do I try to write one? I just don't know, but I do know that I have to let you know my thoughts about this awesome book. I love YA. Even if I take YA holidays sometimes and stop reading it, I can't deny it's one of my favourite genres. This book and Forbidden are probably my favourite YA books, and right now I cannot decide which one is my absolute favourite. Side note here, Forbidden is a book about a brother and sister falling in love with each other, so that's already a controversial pick, so maybe I'm a bit less guilty about the fact that I don't like The Fault in Our Stars. I'm not surprised people love it because it's John Green. I just don't understand why people love it, and I will never understand why people love it. Never, ever, ever. The Beginning of Everything by Robin Schneider is another one that I absolutely detested. This nearly sent me into a reading slump, and it took me months to get through it, even though it was quite a quick contemporary. But it sounds a lot like John Green in the way that it's written. It's very pretentious. It's very stupid. I honestly liked this more than I liked any John Green book. This is what I mean, it literally just sounds like John Green. Not that I don't love his books, but I just thought this book was so special, I guess. It really spoke to me and made me feel all kinds of things. And the characters were amazing and brilliant, and it was a great representation of wasted potential in high school found in stuck-up populars. It's about a classic jock that doesn't have any real ambitions outside of sports and popularity, and the struggle of overcoming that by becoming a social outcast. I thought this book was absolutely beautiful and very well written. I loved it a lot. And the thing is that it wasn't just a cheesy teen romance novel, it was so much more than that. It was about self-discovery and recovering from something horrible. It was about learning to be stronger than before and was so much deeper than it sounded on the back cover. It wasn't what I expected at all. I just thought it was going to be a stereotypical teen drama, but I was so pleasantly surprised. There were twists and turns and wonderful moments and heart-wrenching confessions, and it was all just so wonderful to read. I didn't think there were any twists or turns because it was really, really obvious what was happening from, like, the first chapter, and I just wanted it to get there and then see the fallout, and then we didn't really get that. This contemporary read is brilliant and takes you along for this fantastic coming-of-age story that helps not only the main characters but readers reflect upon themselves, find who they are and who they want to be. Who I want to be is not somebody who has ever read this book. My heart is heavy and it's bringing me down to the cold, hard ground. Solid 5 stars. This was incredible. Not only it was witty and fun, it was also incredibly profound. Maybe this is my problem. People just find depressing YA books funny. Like, oh, The Fault in Our Stars, it made me chuckle so much. These kids dying over here, I just fucking loved that shit. I find it sad and morbid and depressing, and I don't find them funny. And then everybody else is just like, hey, this guy's been in like a terrible car accident. Haha, this was witty and fun. In a world, is that fun? Oh my god. I'm only going to do one more book or I genuinely think I'm going to have a mental breakdown. So we will go with... Oh, I'm going to end up having to do a part 2 of this because there are too many books that I am tempted to look at right now. I will go with... No, because that's going to be obvious, the good things that people say about that. Oh my god, I've got so many 1 stars. I did not realise how many books I've rated 1 stars over the years. I'm going to go for Ferryman by Claire McFall because, fun story here, this was actually the first book I ever gave 1 star to, and I gave a 1-star review to it, and the publishers loved the review that much that they sent me a copy of the sequel. I gave them a 1 star. Absolutely shredded it. Probably one of the most horrible reviews I've ever written because I'd only just started writing reviews, so I was being very brutal because I didn't know how to, like, hedge it or say nice things or try and find, like, a little glimmer of happiness in each book. And they loved it. Because honesty is the best policy, and this is why I like reviewing. So we'll go with 5 stars on this one, and then possibly do a part 2, because I am having a whale of time filming this. 5 stars on Ferryman. I read this book after a recommendation from a friend, and I'm so glad I did. I don't often go in for stories with a strong romance element. I'm just too blokey that way. But I was so caught up in the mythology and the mystery of the journey that the protagonist Dylan goes on that I just had to read on to the end. There are so many things I could say about the things I liked in the book, but they'd all be massive spoilers. It's really hard to categorise too. Supernatural? Maybe. Spiritual? Possibly. Adventure? Definitely. With a strong romantic theme that drives the plot forward without making it, apologies to fans, insipid, like the Twilight series. The main character of the story is brave, likeable and vulnerable at the same time, making you suffer along with her and cheer her on to succeed when she takes control of her situation. My best advice is read it. I doubt anyone with an imagination will be disappointed. I have an imagination, and I was disappointed because the character was not likeable at all. Not at all. Ferryman is a paranormal romance, but not the usual kind. AKA, it's not werewolves or vampires, it's just a ferryman. I loved the character of Dylan and could really relate to her, and the fact that she was so brave made me root for her even more. The romance was kind of a slow burn. I mean, it was insta-love, but neither of them acted upon it. And in a way, nothing much happens in the book. They go somewhere, no spoilers, and come back again. Yeah, literally, like, by the end of the book, it has negated the point of the entire book. But then everything changed between them on that journey. It's one of those books that I find comforting and like to reread now and then. An interesting idea, well told, with a slow-building romance at its heart. I liked the concept of what's after death, how it can be different for each person, and the classic idea of a ferryman who takes you across the river to your afterlife, but changed. Read this if you like books that take you on a journey. That's a good review. Like, I can see it. With that review, I can kind of get on board with it. And this is why I was thinking, like, some 5-star reviews, even for a book you hate, you can be like, oh, actually, I can kind of see that. Like, maybe if I'd been a fan of, like, journeying books more, but I like the plot rather than the journey. So, like, with that one, I would recommend it. If you like The Lord of the Rings and you like the fact that it's a bit of a slow kind of, we're just trudging from place to place on endless walking missions, but our characters are changing and we are building as people. Like, if you like books like that, read Ferryman. And, yeah, that was a well-considered review, especially for such a short review. I'm gonna do one more. This book deserves so much more recognition because it was so freaking good. The whole idea was so cool and unique. I mean, it is pretty unique, actually, for a YA book. Like, especially one that was being released at that time, when everything was vampires and werewolves, for this to have come out was actually pretty brave. So, in conclusion, I have a new appreciation for Ferryman, but I've realised exactly how much I hated The Fault in Our Stars, and I really, really detest every single good review that it gets. I hope that you had as much fun watching this as I had making it. Oh, this was a terrible idea because I've had way too much fun, but I'm really, really glad that I did it. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you'd like to subscribe, we would be super duper grateful. We post new videos every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday, so we'll see you in a couple of days with another video. Bye! Thumbnails. Not that one.